here at 5315 Caledonia Road in Westover Hills, where my good friends Mark and Beth Sprinkle live. They've agreed to let me show off their house a little bit and ask them what they love about Westover Hills. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Greg Somerville, and I get to help lots of folks just like you moving in or to Richmond, Virginia, one of the best small cities in the U.S. To subscribe or to book a call, see the description below. I'd love to help you find your dream home here in Richmond.
Let's see if there's Hey, hey, Mark. Hello. Hello.
So we have been looking in this neighborhood for several months, trying to find a small house that we could, renovate over the next couple of years. And there was just not really anything that was on the market at that time. And we had passed this house a bunch of times, but it was much bigger and out of our price range, and it really didn't show well.
It was built in 1928, and it had been strawberry shortcake pink with liver-colored trim with blood red flooring on it, and so it was a for sale by owner, and the dining room was sort of a mucous-colored with crushed velvet faux drapes in it, and it had colonial ports of call wallpaper.
And we walked in the front door and saw it was really distinctive. It wasn't kind of four square and symmetrical like a lot of houses of this era. We offered what we could, which was a pretty low price, and they took it, and we said, what did we get ourselves into?
But it's been a super house to raise a family in. We're so close to the river, and our sons love it, and they run and they bike and they paddle, and it's just because of this great place that we live in. It's super.
Westover Hills was the second official suburb in Richmond after Windsor Farms. And the south side had always been where artisans and craftsmen and people like that lived. So it's always kind of carried that same kind of vibe of there are a lot of artists, people who, even before it was cool, were working from home, had home studios, and I'm a painter and craftsman myself, so that was a really nice kind of thing to fit in. It wasn't a place just to stay and leave during the day and come back at night. You really felt like there was life happening here, every day, all day.
So one of the great things about Westover Hills is that it's a very walkable neighborhood, and so Mark and I take the dog out for a walk often 2-3 times a day.
There are just all these great places just to stop and look out and see the train bridge.
One of my favorite walks is to go into the woods because we're one of the trailheads for the Buttermilk, and so it goes from our neighborhood all the way down along the river to Reedy Creek, and you can keep going actually if you'd like to, all the way down to the Lee Bridge. So
one of my favorite pieces, or that's really kind of just been part of our house for a while, is this one. And this is called Well Worn. For many, many years when we were living here, the state fair was in Richmond at the racetrack. This painting kind of reminds me of life with our boys and going to the state fair, and how we are sheep that go astray. When we walk through the house and see the paintings, we're kind of rehearsing what are those great trips we took? Who are the people we were with? What are the relationships that really matter to us? So it's really fun to just live in kind of a visual ecosystem of our memories and friendships.
I make the frames for Mark's painting, and so my grandfather was a furniture maker and a builder, and so we actually have all of my grandfather's tools. While the art is his, the craftsmanship behind it is actually mine. And the Westover Hills area has really got an interesting kind of growing market area. So Blanchard's Coffee actually began here in Westover Hills. Stella's Market is also in here too, which has made everybody so excited because Stella's is such great food, and it's nice to be able to walk over there. And it's all right beside Westover Hills Elementary, which has got a fantastic principal and assistant principal. It's a school that is succeeding in the city schools. It's a great place to send your kids to school.
One of my unusual hobbies is urban foraging. What makes it a little more unusual is that I often forage in other people's front yards, and I have come to where I do ask. It's definitely become a little more competitive. During COVID, more people got into foraging, but still you know, if you just kind of keep your eye out and aren't afraid of going and knocking on people's door and asking if you can eat things that are growing in their yard, you know, you can have a pretty good time and some, you know, important micronutrients as well.
Yeah, so when we moved in here, this was a screened-in porch. It was existing, the brick was here, but everywhere you see the molding and the glass was just screened, and there was a door, actually, just a rectangular door that went here.
Yeah, so when we, you know, first moved in, we were newlyweds, we had no furniture. One of the things we did was paint the walls kind of these colors, so kind of the colors of the walls was our furniture for several years. You know, it's not agreeable gray, but we've kind of lived with it fairly effectively for 30 years, so it's been pretty fun.
23 years ago, we had ripped off a very small little patio or deck that came off the back of this.
We wanted it to be really big and open. We got this really big, wide stairway coming up, which is quite elegant.
They started work the day that I delivered birth to our second son. So it was fun to come back, and we planted these roses. These are ladybank roses, and they bloom every
like right now.
April. They're blooming right now. So we planted those when our third son was born. So we got 6 of them and planted them, and they cover the entire area and provide some really nice shade in the summer.
I'm standing in front of my studio workshops. My commute is about 6 seconds, which I really appreciate. So even though you can get anywhere in the city from Westover Hills in 20 minutes, you can't beat 6 seconds getting to work.
This is my birthday path, and so we had bought some stone. We have a dry stacked wall in the back around a maple tree. So the stone sat in the little cages and sat and sat and sat in the driveway for 7 years, waiting and resting and maturing. And Mark, with the help of our 3 sons, for my birthday, 4 years ago, I think, ended up building this path for me. And it's a lovely path, and I am very happy with my path.
Cool. Well, Mark and Beth, it's been so much fun seeing your house. Thank you for taking the time to show it off a little bit. It's worth showing off. One of the things I love to do when I do these kind of neighborhood focused videos is to make a small donation on your behalf to the charity of your choice. Where can I get that money?
We'd love for you to give the money to the Maymont Foundation. And while they're not on the south side of the river in Westover Hills, they are really close. We're within a mile of it, and I used to love walking with my kids over there almost every day for them to climb in the trees and run around. And it's a great city park for all of the city, all the kids of Richmond.
Well, it's only fitting that I would wrap up this video here on the Buttermilk Trail, where Beth and her boys spent many happy hours making their way across the Nickel Bridge to Maymont. Many consider Westover Hills to be one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in all of Richmond. If you're moving to RVA and are looking for a great spot, reach out to me. Whether it's here in Westover Hills or somewhere else, I would love to help you find the place that is perfect for you.